something that I want to talk about that may seem gruesome, and I don't want it to be. But the funny thing that I say about this is no one gets out of life alive. You are going to pass away. And how much is it going to cost for you to pass away to your members? And of course, there's insurance and there's all kinds of things you can do. But one of the things that I checked out that my wife and I have decided to do is we are going to donate our bodies to science. And so that way, there's no cost, there's no fuss, there's no nothing. And I know a lot of people don't understand that. I saw a video about a guy who is in the business of getting bodies, and he showed them exactly what they did. That a podiatrist who does feet needs a foot or a leg, and this may sound gruesome, and I don't want it to be, but they send it to him so they look at the tendons and the bones and see how they work, so they can make prosthetic feet. And they have to make different prosthetic feet for Americans because we stand, but a lot of people in other countries squat. So they have to make different ones. So donating your body to science is free. Now, if you want to donate it to the university in your state, that's wonderful, but they will tell you that probably it may not be used in that state. It may be sent to another state. We're fine with that because I figured that that's a good way to not spend the money for cremation, and even cremation is pretty expensive, $600 to $800, and then trying to be buried is just astronomical. And the funeral homes, if you see the kind of money they make and what they drive, then you kind of understand how much money you're spending. And so look at the different ways of how to save your money in that respect and make it easier on your family, on your kids, on yourself. Make the decision up front. And then I look at, and I'll be honest with you, I'll tell you two stories that I talked to a guy, and he has a wholesale casket company and a funeral company. And so I went over there and talked to him about my father and my mother, and he said I can do everything for 3,500, and my dad was looking at 10,000 for both of them. So he got out of that, and we did this. And this guy who ran this also did we did a graveside service, and he did the ministering for us. He was a minister. He did the sermon for us and everything. He took care of everything there was, and the caskets were 1,100. I know you can buy caskets at Costco in some states. So I recommend doing that because there's a load of money that you're in, and people walk in and they're in grief and they don't know, and the funeral company is going to sell you a $10,000 funeral, and you don't need to do that. And then the funny story that I wanted to tell you about this was about the guy who was in the service, and he demanded that he have a kind of funeral where they drive him out to the cemetery, they call out the military, they do a 21 gun salute, and it was $15,000. And I actually talked to his wife, and I said, look, he's not going to know the difference. Just have him cremated to be done with it. She goes, oh no, I can't do that. It goes against his wishes. And I go, and she could have sent her daughter to school with that, but they spent $15,000 on a funeral. Now, in my opinion, unless you're loaded, that's just ridiculous, and I wouldn't do it. So that's how I feel about it, is plan ahead and don't spend a lot of money on it. Look for wholesale casket places or whatever, if that's what you want. And he does cremations also. Have your body donated to science and go from there. So again, like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, and tell other people some of these ideas to maybe help them save money also. Goodbye.